Hey guys, welcome to Z's Comics Reviews number 2, volume 2. All right, we are starting off a pretty good little week right here.
Sounds of the rain.
Oh yes, soothing sounds of the rain. But also, more importantly, we got our stuff in on time, kind of. But yeah, so we're actually able to do our video on time.
Exactly.
So, all right, new year, new us. Let's hit it. All right, starting up, Zootopia number 1.
Zootopia.
I'm gonna tell you right now, I did not expect this to be as good as it was. All right, now I love the movie, love Zootopia. My kids love it. I love it. It's great. I love it. Right? 4 out of 5. I'm gonna be honest with you right now. 4 out of 5.
Yes.
The artwork, very cartoony, but it works for it. You know what I mean? Because obviously cartoon. But the story. The story is almost on par with the actual movie, where they took like racial issues on there in the movie. This one is tackling corporate espionage, and I gotta say, man, the writing feels like the movie. Everybody feels like they should. Judy Hopps. The thing. I just hear her voice. I hear the Fox's voice, Nick Wilde's voice. You just feel it permeating. And yeah, more cameos from a bunch of the other characters from the movie pop up, and they just expand on the entire Zootopia world. So yeah, it's very good, especially if you have kids. It's a good little starter comic for them too. But yeah, it's just like it's a fun time, fun read. Doesn't try to be anything more than it is, right? So obviously 4 out of 5. Definitely pick it up. Definitely pick it up. Moving on to New Champions. New Champions number 1. Oh wait, you didn't read this one yet.
I did not. No.
Dang it. I usually try to do like I usually try to do the ones where you read and then I read. Okay.
The setup today was just like, okay. We usually try to set up a little bit as like, okay, not necessarily like, oh, this is the progression of the ones we like the most. Because Zootopia is definitely up there from what it seems. Yeah. It's just,
I highly recommend it.
How to break things.
But yeah, this one I read as well. Sorry, man. I forgot
I'm here.
I'm sorry.
I'm
sorry. Stop yelling at me.
I provide context.
All right. New Champions number 1. Now, if you don't know anything about this, don't worry. Neither did I. But apparently, all the characters in here were part of a plot point in the latest Spider-Woman story arc. All right. Hydra sleeper agents. They took them from their families and made like brainwashing stuff ensued. Now they are trying to be their own team, their own heroes. Don't call them sidekicks, because these are basically the new version of the Young Avengers.
Hero support?
Not even hero support. I mean, they'd have almost nothing to do with any of the heroes, aside from maybe like their names are kind of like blank-esque kind of thing. Like you got, instead of Moon Knight, it's Moon Squire. Instead of Captain Marvel, you have like
Major Marvel.
No, it's like Private Marvel or something like that. I can't remember too well. But yeah, it feels like the Young Avengers original series, which I love. Like that. That was one of my favorite storylines. The artwork in that one was great. The artwork in this one, while not as good as Jim Cheung's, pretty damn good. All right. The artwork's great. The storytelling is great. My only issue with it is that it does feel like you should have read a certain storyline before you read this one. So that is a huge detractor from it.
Not too much of a thing where you can just jump on.
Like, okay, yes, but even on certain storylines where that is the case, they usually have explanations in the comic.
Yes.
They did not have that this time around. So I would have been okay with a couple flashback scenes just to get context of what's going on here. So for all of that, I'm giving it a 3 out of 5, but I'm giving it a very positive 3 out of 5 because, like I said, it gives very Young Avengers-esque types of vibes, and I loved that series. I'm hoping that this one tries to deliver the same type of feel, the same type of fun. And from what it looks like, it will, because the last few pages, the last like 2 or 3 pages, just introduce you going from, okay, here's the team, to, holy crap, here's the team. kind of thing. You know what I mean? You get more people popping up, more new champions popping up. that may or may not be like mystically destined for this type of thing. But yeah,
prophecies.
Maybe. But yeah, definitely worth a pickup. Very positive 3 out of 5. New Champions #1. There's so many variants on sale right now. You have no idea. And like my favorite one is a Peach Momoko one, but
Peach
Momoko.
Peach.
But yeah, definitely pick it up. New Champions #1. Moving on to something that we've all read. Daredevil. Unleash Hell #1. All right, take it away then.
So to me, it was pretty eh. Well, not eh. I'll say meh. Like, the story is pretty good. It's pretty interesting. It just goes very kind of how you said it earlier. It gives you the feeling of like, okay, we're gonna be kind of grounded, kind of like straightforward, and then the last like little bit of it goes into the fantastical, and it's a real twist or shift that just kind of didn't make me feel like they did it good enough. Just out of nowhere shift that I'm like, oh, okay, kind of took me out of it. It does seem interesting. I'm gonna give it I'll give it a positive 3 out of 5, but it's just not really my cup of tea.
See, that's what I gave it too. A positive 3 out of a very positive 3 out of 5. I like the inner monologue of Elektra. I like how she deals with her own demons, or like she's basically having to talk herself out of. Man, I can end this so quick with just like
yes.
But you know, she's trying to be better.
Woman, you know?
Trying to be better.
New year, new her.
Exactly.
New year resolution to not K-word people.
So yeah, she's taking on the mantle of Daredevil, all that stuff. She's been Daredevil for at least 2 years.
Yes, it's been good.
Not the Daredevil, but you know, like because I think Matt's still running around. But in this one,
he was in prison.
He was at one point when she barely took up the mantle. Now I think he's a priest.
Oh.
Yeah, he's like clergy at some. Like he became clergy in his latest series. I don't know what's been going on with that, but yeah, this one right here, like you said, it went to the fantastical at the end. To me, Daredevil should he should be grounded. You know, I know. Logically, I know that Daredevil has dealt with the fantastical quite a bit, especially since Blackheart, you know, Mephisto's son, actually showed up in a Daredevil comic as a first appearance. But I don't know. To me, over the years, Daredevil should have just remained like, you know, Mr. Fear and all that stuff, like things that he could hit with his hand.
Yes.
But you know, Elektra, kind of the same boat, I think. I mean, yeah, they got like mysticism and
much
you know,
you can do with daggers.
Yeah.
Or size, I guess that's what they're called.
Dagger size. She uses them all. But yeah, it's a little bit weird. A sort of resurrection of one of Daredevil's most recent bad guys. By recent, I mean like in the past 5 or 10 years or something like that. But yeah, it's a little weird. Kind of gives Seven vibes. Kind of gives Seven vibes. On the killer.
Yeah, on like the back end there. It does get pretty like okay.
But yeah, I'm still curious as to where it goes. I think I'm gonna reread #2 just to see where it goes, and after that, we'll decide whether or not we want to keep doing it.
I think I'm good on 2. Again, that's not a bad thing. It's just not really for me.
I'm still gonna read #2.
Okay.
But yeah, I suggest picking it up. 3 out of 5. Daredevil Unleash Hell #1.
Yes.
I have one gripe, like one straight up gripe. It's a red band. It's in a poly bag.
Oh, yes.
Why don't they let them cuss? Okay,
yes.
I think we've talked about this on DC's Black Label and all this stuff.
Yeah.
Why don't they say?
Yeah. Why do they have the star, the ampersands and all that in there?
Expletive deleted. All right, it's red band for a reason. I know that, and honestly, I didn't see any difference in here.
I didn't see much.
Like the blood, the gore, whatever, between this and a regular Ghost Rider comic.
Maybe the ending where they go to like that certain place. Maybe it's like, okay, maybe
you have Ghost Rider comics without polybags, and it's like 10 times more grotesque.
Who knows the ins and outs?
And then we read Helverine.
Maybe it's gonna get weird towards the end. Maybe like the outline, the person that the like writers and all that, the artists were like, okay, here's this and then I don't know how long of a run this is gonna be, but maybe towards
I think it's like a 5-issue series, 6-issue series.
Okay, maybe towards like the third, fourth, and fifth one, it gets more out there, and they're just like, okay, the first issues may not be that bad, but the next issues, yep, the next issues are gonna live mouse.
All right, so moving on before we get too bogged down with talking about why an R-rated thing won't say R-rated things. Aquaman #1.
Aquaman.
From DC's All In, dealing with the fallout of Absolute Power, the storyline where Amanda Waller finally just broke straight bad and started stealing powers from everybody. The two of us have like differing opinions on this, but I think it's because of the prejudice that several outlets has given us about Aquaman. Okay, and I'm not gonna lie, I feel them too. But in the interest of journalistic integrity, I will throw them out the.
I feel like I've done a good job at that. Like, I'm just saying, it's still. Heck, I can give it a 4 out of 5. Like, no matter what, I was gonna say like, okay, at least positive 3 out of 5. But yes, I can definitely give it a 4 out of 5 because it is good. Like, the start is pretty good. It's a good storyline. But at the same time, I'm still like, it's Aquaman. so there's that, which I'm sorry to the Aquaman fans, the Aquaman creator out there, but like, like I say, like I grew up watching, Robot Chicken and all that other stuff, and it's like Aquaman just really got a horrible rep.
He
and
does.
Like, sure, Jason Momoa kind of like did his best to give him like a resurgence, show like, hey, he's cool, he can be awesome, but it's really hard for, people like me to be like, Aquaman, yeah! So, like, I'm sorry, it's Aquaman. So at the same time, it's just like, okay, it's pretty cool, but at the same time, it's Aquaman. But it is good, especially the ending. Like, I won't go into, spoilery stuff there, but the ending really does give you that feel like, okay, ball's getting rolling, we're about to find some stuff out, worlds may be colliding pretty soon.
Possibly. So yeah, like he was saying, I think it is a very solid start. I also gave it a 4 out of 5. Very solid start, and yeah, you have to get over the fact that hey, it's Aquaman, but he even makes fun of it himself. Throughout the thing, throughout the story. That at one point, a little bit of a spoiler. So 1, 2, 3, he has to go up against a water monster, and a monster made of water, and gets his butt whooped like for a sec, and his internal monologue is like, man, I'm glad the Justice League ain't here, like to see this. And yeah, it's kind of funny. It's got some chuckles. The artwork is amazing.
It is nice. It's crisp.
It really is. I think they're all trying to like get their stuff uniform because it's not Dan Mora, but it feels like Dan Mora on artwork, on his line work. But you have Aquaman coming back from, Absolute Power. He's regained most of his abilities. He's even gained some new abilities. He's being trained on how to use them by their original master. He's getting right into the political work too, as recently returned King of Atlantis. There's some stuff going on, and he really don't want to be there, but at the same time, he's got to be. But yeah, the inner monologues to me is what pushes this from a 3 out of 5 to a 4 out of 5. Okay.
Inner monologues are great.
Yeah. And then like when the catalyst, I'm calling it, happens to set the real story in motion, it's all straight to work. He goes, he gets help, he knows who to go to, what to ask about, and it leads them to the cliffhanger, which yes, you were talking about worlds possibly colliding, and this has been in the planning stages for quite a bit between one universe and another. So we're hopefully seeing the first steps towards a new storyline where two universes could be colliding. And Aquaman #1 leaves off on that cliffhanger, and I'm gonna be honest, man, I'm all for it.
I think is kind of bring it back to how we started. I think it is a little way of trying to get Aquaman some more fans, because they're all like, okay, out of all the characters, interesting that they chose Aquaman, but at the same time, it's like, let's try to get Aquaman some attention. So
So yeah, but yeah, we both gave it a 4 out of 5. Slightly deferring reasons.
Yeah, slightly
But
different
yeah,
reasons, yeah.
definitely pick it up. Definitely worth a read. So, all right, moving on to Magic #1.
We believe in magic.
Then a young girl. Damn it.
She is young.
She is 25. So, so this one right here, Magic #1, new on sale this week.
Sister to my favorite X-Man.
Yes, Ilyana Rasputin, sister to Pyotr Rasputin. I'm pretty sure I pronounced that right. Right?
I believe so. You know, I know it's like
I can't really do the Russian roll of the R's.
I know, right?
I try. I mean, it's weird because we're Mexican. We're supposed to roll our R's, but they roll their R's in a weird.
It's a different roll.
Yeah, like we roll right, they roll left.
Exactly.
Anyway, Magic #1. Be straight out with you. I gave it a 3 out of 5, but a very positive 3 out of 5.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
The artwork is clean. Starts up with, like we said, it's her birthday, and then all hell breaks loose, almost literally. And she's like, well, I really don't want to be here. So she bounces to the battlefield pretty much. And from there, it's just, you hit the ground running after about 5 pages, and it don't let us. Like, yeah, there's demons involved, there's magic, not just magique, but actual magic involved.
MIGIC.
And then the soul sword makes an appearance. I am one of the reasons why I gave it a 3 out of 5 rather than a 4 out of 5 is because there's almost no exposition whatsoever. You just get straight to the meat, the action. But I would have really liked to have learned what the hell is going on.
See,
you know what I mean?
I felt that way too, but just from what I'm seeing from this, it really does just seem like, okay, we're going along for the ride. Okay. The main character, it's got like that other kid,
Kalyan or something.
Yeah, like the kid. He's like, I got no idea what's going on. He's trying to ask his grandmother, who evidently knows what's going on, but just don't get any answers because storyline reasons. And so I'm okay with the fact that we don't really get much, but I'm like, okay, I think it's because we're going along for the ride. Like, we got this action, it gets you, it grips you in, especially with the I don't know if this guy's a new villain or not.
No, he is a straight up new villain.
Yeah,
straight up new
very
villain.
Man in Black
designed
vibes. Ooh, nice.
Yes,
nice.
like the design variant, the 1 in 10 design variant, that was actually her design for the actual comic.
Nice.
She didn't do the interior artwork, but she did design him, and they went off of her designs.
Nice. Very Man in Blacky. From like Dark Tower stuff and other related Stephen King whatevers. Yeah, exactly. There's a point in there where I didn't really understand because Magic is a mutant. Yes.
I don't know what her abilities are, but I know that she also has straight up magic, and she is able to use that to cast spells and stuff. And she casts a spell, and it's from what it sounded like, it was supposed to stay for a while, and it didn't. And I was confused. Maybe is the guy strong, or is she did she screw up?
I believe he's that strong.
Okay. But yeah, I highly recommend picking this one up. I'm definitely going to see how issue 2 runs. As you can see, the cover A is a J. Scott Campbell, and I just love J. Scott Campbell's artwork, so I'm just going to be collecting them no matter what.
Sensational.
So I may as well start reviewing them just because. So I think we'll stick with number 2, see where it goes, see if we can't get it a 4 out of 5.
I think I'll take a look at number 2 as well. Just gotta check it out, see how's it going.
All right, now moving on to
the Amazing
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
65?
65, yes.
65.
This one is kind of a tugging at the heartstrings one, just because he's on to the last issue, the last one. He started fighting twins. He's on twins, but it's not at the same time. It's one at a time. And so it fights the first one. The first one is the only one that he just straight up is whatever. You're not. It's you're nothing compared to these others. He just straight bodies them in minutes. Just straight embarrasses him. Almost straight up that fight in the second one was in this past one was kind of like Aang when he in the third season when that kid's trying to bully him at school and Aang's just there You know, it was like, it kind of gave me that feel. This one, it's not really a fight. It's straight up, she's just like, look, and this is like kind of the nicest, like, Sidorak henchman too. Like, she's just straight up like, look, I'm tired of doing all this. I just want to go back to my place. Like, all this is kind of like pointless anyways, because I kind of get the feel like she knows, like, look, even if I win, kind of cheating, so no matter what, it's kind of pointless. But her thing, it's not like a physical matchup. She gives him like a little orb that he's got to hold on to, and she's just like, look, you hold on to this, and the moment you let it go, I win. And he's just like, oh, what if I like hold on to it throughout everything? And she's like, trust me, you won't hold on to it throughout everything, because it shows death. Like, all this issue is him seeing everyone that he's ever met, ever known, straight die. And
does it show Phil Coulson?
Yes,
it does. Okay, all right. So if you don't know, if you don't know, Phil Coulson is the newest embodiment of death in the 616 universe. Yes. So yeah, like that, it wasn't me being funny. It was like straight up, like, it's Phil Coulson in this.
Yeah,
okay, and now I want to read it.
So like, it's straight. It tugs at the heartstrings just because it's like, dang, the monologue that the villain is giving gets you kind of like, geez, just seeing Peter go from being all like, oh, okay, like, it's showing me death, all right, like, I've seen Uncle Ben die before and all this, like, I'm used to that, and just the progression that it takes of him slowly just losing his classic Spider-Man-ness of like, I'm upbeat, I'm great. It tugs at the heartstrings, bro. And I'm really excited for the like sort of like 2.5 issue of this, interlude, the like interlude, because next week you're getting the number 65 deaths, point deaths, what it is, which sounds like it's gonna give you like the perspective from Coulson's. So like this issue's perspective, this issue's story, but this time from Coulson, because Coulson's doing stuff, but like, you know, you're getting the like the monologue from the villain and all that. And I'm saying I'm still gonna give this a solid 4 out of 5. Yeah, like, this series is good. This one, again, not much actiony, kind of keeping with, I guess, the trend of like the next comic we're gonna be reviewing on here, but it's just more exposition. Yeah, more exposition, but it's good. It's intriguing exposition. Meaty. Yes, all right. It does it well, and it's just, yeah, like, I'm sitting there reading this, and I'm just like, my gosh, my poor guy, like my poor guy Pete, just
damn. All right. So 4 out of 5, definitely pick it up.
Yes. Definitely, like, I'm liking this whole run. Like, this whole run of the 8 deaths of Spider-Man. Yeah. It's really good. Even the like ones that I've kind of been like, okay, they're still good. The overarching story of all this is so interesting. And yeah, like the next 0.5 I'm interested in. I'm really interested in the number 66 that's going to be coming out, just because it's like where it leaves off is just really like, sheesh. Wow. Very, very like, wow. Poor guy.
All right. So 4 out of 5, Amazing Spider-Man number 65. Definitely pick it up. All right, moving on. Our last one of the night.
The comic of the week.
Yes, I give it comic of the week, but I have problems with it.
I know he's got problems with it. Okay, it's like, obviously I understand his problems too. But
we have not had a 5 out of 5. I myself am not giving this a 5 out of 5. This is the first time of an absolute Batman that I have not given it a 5 out of 5. This whole issue is a flashback, and I y'all guys know me. I'm not opposed to flashbacks. I love flashbacks. I love storylines. The art for the flashback, the entire artwork throughout the issue takes me out of it. New artist. Right? I'm hoping it's just because it's a flashback issue, but yeah, it takes me out of it. The point of the flashback is to show his progression as the Batman, his progression into the Batman, I should say. Going from, you know, him trying to be, you know, the fear or whatever.
Theatricality, deception.
Yeah, so basically everything from Batman Begins, he tried and it didn't work. He didn't feel it. And yeah, it shows him growing into the Batman that he feels right as. And at the end, you see him tinkering, toying with a bunch of his stuff. And yes, he makes the little bat thumbs, which are like the ridges for his cape and stuff. And yeah, it's really cool. And to me, it didn't really say a whole lot that we haven't really seen in this story. Aside from, he is filled with a lot more hate than the average Batman storyline. And I'm there for it. I love when a hero like succumbs to hatred and stuff, because you get that duality kind of thing.
Yeah.
But in this one, like straight up, he just tells the guy that killed that killed his dad,
it's still Joe Chill.
I hate you. I'm going to hate you until the day I die, kind of thing. And yes, you feel it. You want it. You want the rage. I'm there for it. That's an entire reason why I'm giving it 4 out of 5, because dude, his groundwork for that rage is amazing. It's great.
Yes.
But yeah, like what do you think?
So I can agree, just because like comparing it to the last issues, yes, it is a bit of a step down. I do understand. Like we've talked about it with our cousin Marcus. Heard about the rumblings from like online and all that. It is. It's not quite on the same level as the past 3 issues. I
mean, with number 3, you hit the gas, and then like this one kind of felt like you hit the e-brake.
Yeah. So like I get the complaints. The art too, like he was kind of touching on, just because it is a different artist. I don't know if we don't know if it is just going to be for this single issue that they went with a different artist for the interiors.
I gotta look at this illustration.
Yeah, we'll look it up. It is kind of strange. I do give it a little bit more of a pass, just because, like, again, flashbacks, but also when you, like, he straight up is wearing, like, they give you, like, iterations of his, like, classical suit, and I'm talking, like, back when he came out in the 1930s classical suit.
It did evoke that look.
It's all like, okay, it looks kind of weird, but at the same time, like, some of the suits back then looked kind of weird, like the progression of it all. And it's like, okay, sure, it looks like everything looks kind of weird, but like he's just figuring out how to make everything, so it's not looking as crisp as like finished, polished as it should. So I give the art a little bit of a leeway with that. I do agree that it is like a little bit of, I don't want to say step down, just because
it leaves a bit to be desired.
Yeah, it's not the same that like, it's not the same that we've been reading, that we've been seeing, we've grown accustomed to in these issues. So it is a bit like, when that happens, it can be like, oh, this is weird. Like, not bad. I don't want to say it's bad, because of the art. It's still pretty nice. It's not straight bad art. It's just weird when you're like go from a shift like that in the middle of an arc. So it is weird, and I can agree too that, like, on how you said that the not much new is said. It's just more of like, hey, let's delve a little bit, maybe not even delve a little bit deeper, because like again, nothing really new is said. It's just kind of like, let's drive home what's happened even more. Like, you're getting more of like what happened at the zoo and all that day. You get again his progression, seeing how he decides to go from like possibly using lethal weapons to not using lethal weapons, and changing his costumes and all that. And it's really good. It's still really good. I will still give it a 4 out of 5. I won't give it the 5, just because, like, yes, comparing it to the other 3, it's not quite at their level. Yes, not quite at their level.
Now it sounds so negative putting it in that context, but like you said, when comparing it to those 3, to issues 1, 2, and 3, yeah, it's a step down, because issues 1, 2, and 3, they were like, okay, issue 1, you went right here, you went right there, and then issue 2, you just kept going, all right? And then at the end of issue 3, you get that, like, you leave off at that cliffhanger where, maybe he may not be the Batman we know, maybe he may not be as strong as the Batman we know, and then this one just like, okay, switch lanes completely almost.
See, but like, I see that too. Yes, it does give you that feel, but also with my with how I kind of like think through things, I kind of started thinking like, okay, if this was like a straight, like, maybe not even a movie, but like a cartoon series or something, like a series, you get the way that the third one ended. He like bows his head, and then straight up we go into the flashback of him like deciding like, oh, like let me remember all this stuff. He's going through it, and then maybe the next issue, this next one coming up, he just like does the like head lift, or we're just straight somewhere else, and it's like boom, he's back. He's like, nah, not that. What I decided, that's right. I got everything back, remembered my upbringing, and I'm ready to go.
Maybe. I hope so. I hope number 5 sticks a landing. You know what I mean? That's what I'm worried about.
Because like again, I feel like number 5 is gonna stick the landing no matter what. Because I know I was kind of like touching on this with you back then. Is like, sure, now we know. Okay, this is not just a limited run anymore. As long as they keep selling, as long as we keep buying, they're gonna keep making.
And honestly, like this series was actually one of 2024's most successful series. Sold a little over 400,000 copies. Somebody said 4 million, but it was closer to like 450,000 copies, something like that. Yeah, so it is pretty huge.
So I feel like, okay, they definitely had the first 5 mapped out pretty darn well. I feel like it's like their whole thing into this was like, okay, we got a new universe created by Darkseid out of absolute, out of All In, DC All In, out of that little one shot. Let's give you the like, you know, the little sprinkles of how this universe is, show you the characters, and that's like all the first 5 issues are going to be of the first 3. So you get your like, all right, all the issues of like, okay, here we go. We're showing you who they are, how they do, how they think, how they feel. Final issue, we're just gonna like come out of nowhere, just give you the last bit, tie it all up. So I kind of feel like that I'm not worried about number 5 at all. I feel like it's gonna hit home no matter what. The thing to me that I'm not necessarily worried about, but I'm more of like, okay, how's it gonna go? Is the issues past?
What happens
when we
after?
get to 6, when we get to the 6s and all of them, because that's the one where it's like, okay, now we're in what we.
I mean, he's friends with all of his rogues gallery. Where do you go from there?
Yeah, like, are we gonna get? Is this gonna be kind of like I know I was talking about it yesterday when we put it on. Is this gonna go kind of like maybe a Smallville route with Batman, where where you got the friendship route that Clark and Lex had in Smallville, and slowly you just get the sad like schisms in his friendships,
the devolving of the dissolving of the friendship, I guess, like over time,
like that.
Man, that would be a pretty good little template, though. I think. All right, like first start off with Harvey and maybe go from there.
Maybe, could be like that.
But yeah, all right. So yeah, definitely pick up Absolute Batman number 4 out of 5. Like. Dude, I know we've been talking. It sounds like we've been talking negative about it, but we're just like trying to like gauge your expectations on it.
Kind of letting you know,
like from where we're coming from on it. We still gave it a 4 out of 5. I still highly recommend picking it up. Just to cement the origin of the Absolute Batman. Be prepared for that change, for that whiplash and the change in artwork.
Like art change.
But yeah, definitely pick it up. I think that about does it for our comics this week.
Just about.
Yeah. All right. Next week, I think, is Absolute Superman, Absolute Wonder Woman, something like
Wonder Woman. Yeah, Wonder Woman, then Superman, and then it's like you start over again.
Alrighty. We will see you guys next time. If you like the Rantings and Dragons with 2 Madmen, give us a like, follow, share us with your friends, and yeah, we'll see y'all guys next time.